Well, this is appropriate. Is that Joe Walsh, Digital Man? Predicting the future, but that's not the point of this. So, I dug out this really old bandsaw. Time is funny how it passes. I don't think of this as being that old, but oh my gosh. I mean, I've had this since the 80s. It's considered like antique now. But it works fine. I turned it on. I'm not going to bother plugging in, but everything is good for it except it doesn't have a blade. Now it's funny. In a not funny way. Every bandsaw in the universe should have a data plate with the blade length on it. This does not. I found the model number, serial number lookup. It's kind of tough, you know. And so I go to eBay. I order a blade for it, and it's too long. So I just wound up taking a string, actually B50 bowstring. So it's got to be accurate, and it comes out to 56 inches, which there's no 56-inch bandsaw blade. There's 56 and an eighth. So I ordered the absolute cheapest one on eBay, just to see if it goes on there. I think, I don't know, you can get a bandsaw blade, a cheap one, for not much money in this size, 56 and an eighth. But we'll see. Now my question is, I've got a really kind of cool, it's classy, where is it? A brass template. Did I line it up there? And I get it all set, and then I kind of draw the line with a Sharpie on there, and I cut it out after I clamp it with a jigsaw. But there's better ways. A bandsaw. A bandsaw is probably the cleanest way to cut this stuff. And it's all about time. You know, I could spend hours rasping it and stuff like that, but, you know, then it raises the price, and this is a board bow. It's going to be a great bow, but it is a board bow, so I don't need to get all the hand, just do it simply by hand tools, unless I wanted to. But again, cost. So I'm thinking, I'm going to get a bandsaw blade for this and see if it will cut through this thick. Oh, and you might be saying, well, that's kind of a hobby quality bandsaw, but you know, it's all in the blade. When I finally dial in the type of, the length of the blade for this thing, I'm not going to cheap out. I'm not going to cheap out because, like anything, my DeWalt compound miter saw, which I paid $900 for, that's a professional level saw. It's not, you know, I didn't buy it at Home Depot or anything like that. I bought it at a lumber yard, and so there's a price difference and quality difference. But it doesn't cut very well if it doesn't have a sharp blade. Same with my table saw. You put a nice ripping blade on there, certain teeth per inch, so to speak. A brand new Diablo cuts like butter. Same way with this. Same way with a chainsaw. You can have the greatest saw in the world, but if you've got dull teeth, it's crap. And so, yeah, I do believe, now it's kind of, you know, variable width, so little woodworking tip, I'm going to get a nice L-shaped fixture, clamp it on here so it'll ride on that table perpendicular, you know, and see if this will indeed replace my jigsaw. I'll have to build a table, probably on wheels that you can like hit it and then it locks so it doesn't roll around on you, because you can picture this. You're swinging this thing through here. It's not going to work on a bench. It has to be on a freestanding table, which I might be able to double up that table with the stationary belt sander. You know, another work table. I'm dreaming of a world where I have acreage and I could do all my woodworking under a cover outside. This place is turning into a dusty mess. But you know, it is a wood shop. Boy, the dream to be able to have my machinery roll it outside, and so the sawdust just goes hither and yon. But yeah, that's about it. this is kind of disappointing, but not. See, I had to use scrap for the riser blocks for my talisman and my paddle bows. And it turns out that this riser block is too small for my talisman, my version of a bowler game bed. And so instead of 4 paddle bows and 2 talisman, I'm going to have 6 paddle bows. And then just run the home desk spot, probably in Petoskey, because Alpena, I do not like the employees there. It is so not customer service. It's on par with our local dollar store. It's like they can't hire people that actually have any social skills, you know. But it is what it is. They're what is interesting. So I take this, and I get a different piece of red oak, which your tree lesson today is red oak is a group. It is also a species, but it's also a group of oaks. There are white oaks, there are red oaks. And within each, even though there is a white oak, a couple white oaks, it's a group of trees. And so you can also get the sapwood and the heartwood. And so it's variable. Every single different piece of red oak that I buy to make bows has its own personality. Some are stiffer, some are less stiff. Some are springier, some are less springy to some degree, excuse me. Some, you know, just are really springy. In this grouping of bows that I bought the wood from Home Despot, I have to say, it is not the stiffest cat in the wood, but the spring is incredible on these things. I can picture if the bellies were heat hardened, even though it's not the stiffest red oak that I've ever worked with. It's wonderfully springy. It is screaming out to become bows. I love it. This has been the most wonderful red oak that I've ever worked in. It's great. Hopefully someday I dream that I can drive all the way to Gaylord, which is not incredibly far, and go to Menards with my pick-em-up truck and just load that bed with cherry, with maple, with oak. They might even have hickory, you know, and just fill my workshop with every single imaginable kind of hardwood I can get. That is my dream. It's a good dream. I'm working with a barbecue chicken hangover. My wife and I were like, got a day off today, let's go buy some chicken. And so we bought one of these giant packs of chicken and just sat outside and barbecued for a while and just ate way too much barbecued chicken, but it was so good. It would have been better if I had mesquite. If you haven't tried mesquite, go to eBay, buy this $30 bag of mesquite that this fellow is selling from Texas, and barbecue with it. Hickory is good, oak is good, applewood is good, but mesquite, my friends, mesquite is Mount Olympus of barbecue wood. Well, I've rambled enough. I'm going to get to work making some bendy forms before I go on to